Now, at one point, a Nintendo Switch was really hard to find, and I'm not sure if it still is, as I honestly haven't searched as of late. But what I can say is that at one point, finding one of these was like the kid in the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie, finding the golden ticket in a candy bar kind of thing. Yeah, like that. It was really quite interesting, but aside from all of that, let's get on to the review and see why this particular item was, and possibly still is, a hot commodity. What's going on, everyone? Tech Me Out here, and let's just say in the box for this item, you get pretty much everything that you need. The AC adapter, HDMI cable, a lot of things that require an HDMI cable nowadays don't even come with one. Joy-Cons, Joy-Con grip, Switch dock, 2 Joy-Con strap accessories, and of course, the 32GB Nintendo Switch, which might I add, it only comes in 32 gigs. Okay, all right, truth moment. I personally have not owned a handheld console since the Game Boy Color. You better not judge me. I'm having a real moment with y'all right now. Like, it's kind of been a while. So I really found myself, pleased with the versatility that this particular portable handheld console offers at the price point in which it does. So you get a console that you can sit and play alone, you can prop it up and play with others, or you can play it virtually against others, or even dock it to get a more immersive at-home experience on your TV. So I was, kind of surprised at how well it did all of these things. So for instance, when I took it with me on the go, I had no issues with extended play in hand, and I even often found myself holding the console itself and just kind of playing it in this manner versus using the Joy-Con grip. Nothing against the grip at all. I know I've heard mixed things about it, but it's not that I disliked it because it was an okay experience, but it was just personal preference to, hold the console in hand. And it didn't weigh down my hand or give me wrist fatigue either. It was overall a solid, comfortable experience with just enough screen real estate to see things without squinting to figure out what you're looking at. And that's largely to do with the 1280 by 720 multi-touch screen, as it does come in at about 4 inches tall and 9.4 inches long. Not quite as small as a iPhone 7 Plus or something of that nature, but I guess if you had to compare it to something, it'll be more so along the lines of that versus a tablet. But the interesting thing is that even at this resolution, everything looked sharp, vibrant, and it didn't leave me feeling like I needed more from it because it was enough. The console buttons were also responsive and not too small. And the same theory applies for the joysticks. They actually weren't as bad as I thought they would be to hold with 2 hands. So prior to playing the Switch and just seeing pictures of people gripping these little Joy-Cons that, I don't know, they were just ridiculously small. I didn't think I would like or, even actually be able to play with the controller in this manner, but it actually wasn't too bad. It's not the best way to play, but if you have to play that way, you can get the job done. So along the bottom, you're gonna find your USB-C charging port, and then on the top, you have your power button, volume buttons, game slot, and a headphone jack, as these do not function with Bluetooth, which is a little bit of a bummer to me because I'd rather play these with a Bluetooth headset than having to worry about a cord somewhere within the mix of me playing. But aside from those listening options, it does have built-in speakers, which put out a decent amount of evenly distributed sound to enjoy. And in looking at things on the back, you also have a built-in stand with a slot for your micro SD card to expand the storage. So quite a few complaints were issued about the flimsiness of this stand. And from personal use of it, I'll say that it does feel a bit cheap or weak in terms of build, to the point that I would be kind of fragile with it. But at the same time, it also doesn't do a terrible job in holding up the screen, but it certainly could be better. More specifically on an uneven surface, like the couch. So like I said earlier, when it comes to gaming, you can enjoy that in a number of different ways. For one, you can sit and play it like a regular console with the Joy-Cons attached, my more common way of playing games up here. Or you could detach the Joy-Cons and play with them individually in hand, or attach the Joy-Con grip to them to make it feel more like an actual controller, which for those really big gamers out there, the Joy-Con grip might not be for you. But it's within this position that you could also play with another person using the Joy-Cons as controllers or as motion sticks for interactive play. But then when you snap the Joy-Cons back onto the controller, you can also play against others virtually. So if you happen to be near another Switch owner, or depending upon the game, just in knowing another Switch owner, you can play against someone else. Now the last way you can play, and my second favorite way of playing, is docking the game. And yes, it literally launches from the game to the TV or vice versa instantly, just like it shows you in the commercial, which is really nice to know that things weren't exaggerated to simply sell you. I could literally resume playing immediately upon either of these actions. It didn't miss a beat. not once. And graphics did cross over from the little screen pretty decently as long as the game was made to carry the resolution over, but me personally, I didn't really notice much of a difference. So these different gameplay options are like, to me, pretty innovative and actually useful and practical. It makes it feel like so much more, and it really amazes me that this one item can transform into all of this. However, though, in contrast to that, the game options were a bit less amazing. Now, a lot of titles were not released with the console, which is gonna leave you with few options to actually enjoy, which really kind of baffled me because here you are with this awesome console and like 5 good games, if that, to switch between. So the first game I purchased was Zelda, and that's primarily because so many people were raving about it, but in all honesty, I'm not even a Zelda fan. So definitely consider that when I make my next statement. I kind of found myself like intrigued and hooked on Zelda when I actually did give it a try. And I remember when I was younger, my brother used to play it all the time on the Nintendo. Yeah. So to kind of have that picture in my mind of Zelda and then playing it on the Switch and seeing the graphics and the storyline and the manner in which it was, I was pretty impressed. I literally found myself playing it for hours and I had no intention upon doing that. I was finding like moments where I shouldn't be playing that I was playing. And it was definitely killing that battery, which by the way, would die or come close to dying within about 3 hours and some change. So yeah, the battery life isn't exceptional, but thankfully, you can charge the Nintendo Switch using a portable battery bank like this one, which will be linked below for you. And that little feature right there alone of being able to charge in this manner is really, really handy, and it makes the Switch kind of rise up where it could have potentially failed because now you even have a more portable way to charge your device. So I really enjoyed Zelda, I truly did, but it required like concentration and time. And sometimes you just want to play a quick game, which is really why I was ready for something new that would give me that. And that's where the countdown for Mario Kart began. So when that game dropped, my excitement to play my Switch kind of like renewed itself because I was getting a little tired of Zelda and the type of time and attention that it, to me, required you to have to play. Like when you play that game, when you can give it your full attention. Pause. Now, did y'all peep the new Tech Me Out Notification Squad gear? If you're interested, check the description box below for the link to get it. Now, at the time, online play is limited. So not every game gives you the option to play with someone else who isn't physically near you. But thankfully, Mario Kart isn't one of those, so you can take your friends on regardless of where they are located in the world. And speaking of which, it's really interesting how you got to go about adding friends, because it's like you would think that you would just get their username, but you actually invite them in a very specific way if they're around you, and if not, you need their friend code. And their friend code is this weird series of characters that I don't know who would remember. So to me, adding friends, which is something I think a lot of us would like to do, is not as intuitive and easy as I would like for it to be. So I'm really looking forward to where Nintendo is going with the Switch, as it does feel like an ongoing project with bigger titles dropping throughout the year. I really love docking this thing and not missing a beat, or snagging it up to take with me and not messing up my flow. It really took some time to actually get my hands on one, but in the end, I'm glad I purchased it. Now, I went in not expecting much, but I was pleasantly surprised to find that Nintendo delivered on a lot. Now, by no means am I saying that it's perfect, but it's a really great choice for portable gaming with lots of solo and group play options and awesome graphics. But if you're not new to the channel, you know my saying, as always, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you out. God, where did my voice go?